The narrative begins with the excitement of explosive growth and innovation, drawing viewers in with the allure of a transforming empire. But subtle hints of pollution, overcrowding, and health risks plant seeds of unease, building quiet curiosity about how these early changes will strain the human spirit as the city expands. But as London's heartbeat quickened, darker challenges loomed just ahead. At the beginning of the 19th century, London was already the heart of the British Empire. In 1801, the city's population crossed 1 million for the first time. Life here revolved around the river Thames, the lifeline of trade, transport, and survival. Its murky waters lapped against wooden docks, carrying ships laden with goods from distant colonies. The air hummed with the distant roar of steam engines. The Industrial Revolution transformed London forever. Factories brought jobs, but also pollution, overcrowding, and dangerous working conditions. Thick smoke billowed from chimneys, darkening the sky like a perpetual storm cloud. The acrid scent of coal hung heavy, turning the air itself into a health hazard. Inside these cramped homes, walls thin as paper, floors creaking underfoot, families lived tightly packed together. Clean water was limited, often drawn from contaminated pumps. Heating was basic, just flickering coal fires that barely warded off the damp chill. Illness spread quickly through the narrow, shadowed alleys. Yet, despite the hardship, family bonds held daily life together. Mothers cradled children by dim candlelight. Fathers shared stories of better days, their faces etched with quiet determination. On the initial promise of this segment escalates the stakes by revealing the human cost of unchecked growth, slums, disease, and fleeting innovations like gas lighting and railways that offer glimmers of hope but fail to stem the tide of suffering, heightening viewer anticipation for how Londoners will endure the mounting pressures. Yet, even as symbols of innovation rose, the veil over everyday anguish began to lift. By the mid-19th century, London's rapid growth created vast slums. Thousands lived in overcrowded and unsanitary conditions, where disease spread quickly, cholera outbreaks ripping through neighborhoods like wildfire. Life expectancy was painfully low, often just 30 or 40 years. The stench of sewage mingled with the cries of vendors. Get your fresh fish! Street markets were the backbone of daily life. For many Londoners, these bustling stalls, alive with the haggling of voices and the gleam of wet scales, were the only place to buy affordable food and basic necessities. Gas lighting transformed London nights. Flickering flames gave way to steady glows, casting long shadows on cobblestone streets. Streets became safer, and trade lasted longer, changing how the city lived after sunset, laughter echoing later into the evening. In the 1840s, railways transformed travel and trade in London. Iron tracks snaked through the city, shrinking distances with the thunderous chug of locomotives. They reshaped daily life, pulling people and goods faster than ever before. In the same decade, London's postal system brought a quiet revolution. For the first time, ordinary people could afford to send written words across the city and beyond. The postman became a familiar figure on every street, his boots thudding mile after mile, door to door in all weather, rain soaking his coat or fog blurring his path. His arrival could bring relief, worry, or quiet hope, a sealed envelope clutched in trembling hands. In a city of smoke, noise, and labor, hammers clanging, crowds pressing, the simple sound of a letter sliding through a wooden door meant connection still existed. Human ties persisted amid tension rises further as grand events like the Great Exhibition dazzle on the surface, but the narrative peels back layers to expose raw human struggles, limited medicine, constant death, and social divides, creating a deepening sense of unease about whether progress can truly save the city's soul, pulling viewers deeper into the emotional toll. As divides deepened, the city's extremes would test its people like never before. The Great Exhibition of 1851 symbolized industrial progress. It showcased innovations from around the world, gleaming machines and exotic displays under a vast crystal palace, light streaming through glass panes. Yet it masked the struggles of everyday Londoners, their weary faces hidden behind the spectacle. Newspapers became the voice of the city, spreading information faster than ever before, ink-stained pages rustling in hands, headlines shouting news of triumphs and tragedies. Churches played a central role in community life. Their stone spires pierced the smog, offering spiritual guidance and social support. Bells tolling, congregations gathering in pews worn smooth by generations. Improving sanitation became essential as London struggled to control disease and waste. Foul odors rose from overflowing sewers, prompting urgent reforms. In the 1840s and beyond, overcrowded housing defined life for the urban poor. Privacy was rare, families squeezed into single rooms, walls damp with moisture, echoes of coughs filling the air. Health risks were constant, shadows of illness lurking in every corner. Medical care in 19th-century London was limited. Many treatments were experimental crude surgeries by lantern light, potions of uncertain effect. Hospitals were often overcrowded, beds packed tight with the suffering. Death was a constant presence. Disease and poor sanitation meant that many families faced loss regularly. Funerals processioning through misty streets, mourners in black veils. Slow, but for many working-class children, school remained a rare opportunity rather than a daily reality. Small figures in ragged clothes, learning by rote in dim, drafty rooms. For the poorest, workhouses were a last refuge. Life inside was harsh by design, cold stone floors, meager gruel, endless labor, meant to discourage dependence on public aid. The clang of workhouse bells marked another grueling day. The suspense peaks here with vivid contrasts of wealth and poverty, amplified by gritty details of daily survival, from frigid winters to desperate labor, evoking a palpable sense of urgency and empathy as viewers wonder if London's resilient people can withstand the centuries' relentless grind. And on the horizon, a polluted dawn signaled the end of an era. In the 1860s, markets along the Thames River thrived. They sustained London's growing population, stalls overflowing with produce, the sharp tang of fish and spices in the air. Bridges connected London's expanding districts. Their iron arches spanned the murky water, carrying the constant movement of people and trade, footsteps echoing, carts rumbling across. In the 1870s, London was a city of extremes. Wealth and poverty existed side by side, grand mansions with glowing windows neighboring squalid alleys. Street performers brought moments of music and relief to the busy city streets, fiddles wailing, crowds gathering in fleeting joy. Applause. All right, men, pump harder. Get that water on the blaze. Before modern equipment, firefighting relied on manpower, speed, and courage, buckets sloshing, flames crackling against the night sky. Bakeries supplied daily bread to a growing population. They worked long hours to meet demand, ovens roaring with heat, the warm aroma of fresh loaves cutting through the chill. Winter intensified hardship, especially for those without secure housing or steady income, snow blanketing streets, icy winds biting through. Clothing was crafted by skilled hands. Tailoring formed an essential urban trade, needles flashing, fabrics rustling under call-used fingers. women formed a vital part of London's workforce. They often earned low wages for long and physically demanding labor. Backs bent over sewing machines or scrubbing floors, faces flushed with poverty and crime often went hand in hand. For many, night brought uncertainty and danger, foggy lanes hiding thieves' whispers. Despite hardship, public parks offered moments of rest, reflection, and escape from the crowded city, green lawns under gray skies, families picnicking in rare sunshine. A bit steep for this old thing, in it. Newsboys were small yet crucial participants in the city's flow of information. Shrill voices calling out headlines, papers flapping in the order in the court. Law and order evolved alongside the city. It shaped how justice was served in a changing society, gavels banging, witnesses shifting nervously. This court is now in session, the Crown versus Thomas Miller. Are both sides ready to proceed with the trial? Your Honor, the evidence clearly shows my client's innocence. Small street services provided income for many. They turned pavements into places of work, shoe shines, flower sellers, the clink of coins in hopeful palms. Clean water was not. Daily survival often depended on public pumps scattered across the city, queues forming at dawn, buckets clanging. Street food played an essential role in everyday life during the Victorian era. For factory workers, dock laborers, and street vendors, these simple meals were often the only warm food they could afford in a long working day, steam rising from vendors' carts. Hot pies sold fresh from wooden carts were quick to eat and cheap to buy. There were no restaurants for the poor, only moments like these, shared briefly before work continued. Street food was not a luxury. It was survival, culminating the arc. This segment resolves the built-up tension with a reflective crescendo on enduring human resilience amid worsening pollution and global might, leaving viewers with a poignant sense of closure while evoking curiosity about the legacy that echoes into modern times. By the late 19th century, air pollution became a serious threat. Coal smoke filled the air, turning London into a city of constant haze, visibility fading to mere feet, coughs echoing through the fog. Music, the Thames, once a source of life, became dangerously polluted. Its waters turned thick and foul, yet many depended on it for survival. Workers along its banks, hauling cargo with sweat-streaked faces. The modern police force began to take shape in Victorian London. It aimed to maintain order in a rapidly growing city. Officers in tall helmets patrolling dimly lit streets, whistles piercing the din. Before electric transport, horse-drawn omnibuses connected the city. They carried thousands across London every day, hooves clopping on stone, passengers jostling shoulder to shoulder. By the end of the century, London's docks were among the busiest in the world. They fueled global trade and empire, cranes groaning, ships' horns blaring in the salty air. As day ended, the city slowed but never truly slept, gas lamps flickering, distant voices carrying through the night. Through smoke, fog, and the ceaseless clatter of horse-drawn wheels, London lived and breathed in the 19th century. Here, millions toiled, struggled, and hoped. Children learned in dim classrooms, chalk scratching on slates, young eyes wide with wonder. Workers labored from dawn to dusk, and families clung to one another amid hardship, hands clasped in quiet solidarity. This city of contrasts, of shadows and light, shaped lives that would echo into the next century. London was more than stone and smoke. It was the heartbeat of its people, resilient, enduring, and alive. Dear viewers, as we close our journey through 19th century London, remember the lives, struggles, and hopes of its people. If this story touched your heart, let us know in the comments which part moved you the most. and we want to hear from you. Help us decide our next adventure. Which city's hidden history should we explore in our next documentary? Share your thoughts below, and your suggestion might guide our next journey.